Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 and compare it against the iPad Air 2025 model and see which particular tablet is the better one for you. Now, the big thing to remember here is that these two tablets are very interesting, but they're also very similar in some ways. So we're going to take a look at it throughout this whole entire video. But like I said, if you want to go through and pick up either one of these particular tablets or some other ones that might be better than these ones, links will be down in the description below. You can get that from there, and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of these particular tablets, the iPad Air 11-inch model originally came out, this year, so it's not even that old. And this one is giving you an 11-inch Liquid Retina IPS LCD panel on it. And I think this is definitely a really good, type of iPad. I think it visually looks really nice. And if you're going to go through and really pick up any type of tablet, this type of tablet still is giving you, I think, a really good type of layout. Of course, there's things that could always be better, but I would imagine that if you're going to go through and pick up a tablet like this, you're still going to be able to go through and get a pretty decent type of experience, which is always something that I really do like. A big thing to keep in mind though is that it is a 60 hertz display. So it's not, a massive high resolution. I mean, it's a good resolution, but it's not really a high refresh rate, which that in and of itself could be a little bit of a downside. On top of that, you're also kind of lacking in some other areas of these types of devices too, because the capability inside of this device isn't insanely great, but in terms of the panel, but it still is a good panel when it comes down to it. Now, on top of that, I think another thing to keep in mind here is that with something like a, Samsung Galaxy Tab S11, this one is definitely going to go ahead and give you kind of the better type of display when it comes down to it. So this type of tablet does kind of give you the higher likelihood of kind of giving you a better type of, experience there too. So this one is going to be giving you 1600 nits of peak brightness, and it's also giving you 120 hertz display as well. So I feel like from that side too, if you're going to go through and pick up some sort of a tablet, well, that one is definitely going to be giving you, I think, a better type of experience. And that is going to be another one of these key areas. Because if you're going to go through and pick up some sort of a tablet, well, it would probably be nice to be able to go through and get some sort of a device and some sort of a tablet that is kind of giving you a better experience from that side. And I do think with something like a Samsung Galaxy Tab S11, that type of tablet is going to be giving you a better type of experience, I think, for the most part. Now, both these tablets are also going to be able to give you basically USB Type-C port at the bottom, so nothing really changes there. They're both built relatively the same, where they kind of have the same type of camera layout and things like that are kind of similar between both. So it's not it's not a big massive difference too. So that's kind of another one of those things. But I would imagine that if you're looking at these types of tablets and everything, you're still going to be able to go through and get a good type of experience between both. Now, I think another really important thing, another key aspect between this one too, is that if you are going to go through and, pick up either one of these tablets, you're also going to have to remember that with something like the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 and with the iPad Air, 7 or iPad, whichever type of iPad you're going to think about, these types of tablets are really, really interesting because they're going to be good, right? They're both going to be really good. But I feel like with the Galaxy Tab S11, this one is going to give me more of a, interesting type of layout, more so than the iPad Air 11 or the iPad Air 7, because that one's going to be a little bit more of a premium type of tablet when it comes down to it from that side. So at least from that perspective, that kind of covers it up, at least as far as I can tell. Now, on top of that, I think another really important area here too are the cameras. So the iPad Air 11 or the iPad Air 7 is going to be giving you this, single camera setup on the back. It's going to be a 12 megapixel wide angle camera, where the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 is going to be giving you this 13 megapixel camera. So this right there is also going to be another it's going to be a really interesting layout here, because both these tablets are very different. The Tab S11 is going to be basically giving you this 4K at 60 lens on the, it's going to give you 4K at 30 on the back and 4K at 30 on the front. Whereas on something like the Galaxy Tab, S11's resolution, it's not going to be as great as something like the iPad Air 11. So the iPad Air 7, I keep saying the 11-inch, but it's the iPad Air 7. That one is going to be giving you 4K at 60 on the back, so it's higher than the Tab S11, but also 1080p at 60 on the front, which is lower than the Tab S11. So depending on how you kind of go through and kind of think about it, that right there is also going to be another key difference. because if you're going to go through and look at these types of tablets, it would be really nice to be able to go through and pick up something like a Galaxy Tab S11 that is going to kind of be giving you like a higher resolution on the front and the back, but the lack of 4K at 60 on the back is very interesting. Whereas on something like the Samsung Galaxy, whereas the iPad Air, 7, that one is going to be giving you a little bit of a better layout, I would say, because it is going to be giving you like a better type of experience for the most part than something like the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11, I would probably argue. So at least from the camera standpoint, that's kind of how I feel about both of them. Now, when it comes down to their software longevity, this is also another key thing. If you're talking about which one is going to be giving you kind of like the overall better type of capability from a performance perspective, this one's also going to be tough because we're not really too sure which one is going to be giving you like the best type of layout here for the most part. And it really is kind of up to you depending on which way you kind of want to go. I would probably argue that between both, they're both going to be supported with software for the most part, and they're both going to be updated with software for many, many years now. So there's not really going to be like a really big difference or a really big like crazy thing going on between them. They're both going to be giving you like a really good type of experience for the most part as well. And I think that right there is another big thing. But if you're trying to get the longer lasting one, maybe the Tab S11 might be faster, but again, it could be a wash because both of them could be end up, being more similar than they are different. So from that side too, I think that's another big thing to keep in mind there as well. From battery life, also, you're getting a bigger size battery on the Tab S11 by about 800 milliamp hours. But again, once again, it's going to be kind of dependent on which way you're kind of going to want to go. I would probably say that between both, they're both going to be very good. I'm going to really like both of them. But again, it's going to be dependent on which way you're trying to go for the most part because they're both very good. But it's just going to be kind of dependent on how you're going to want to kind of think about it. When it comes down to the performance, I really think that both these types of phones are also pretty decent performing devices too. The iPad Air 7 is giving you the Apple M3 chip inside with 8GB of RAM, where something like the Galaxy Tab S11 is going to be giving you the MediaTek Dimensity chipset inside, basically with, 12GB of RAM. So this right there is also going to be another big difference because if you're looking at it from like a performance perspective, yet again, this is also going to be another thing because you're probably wanting the device that is going to be giving you an overall better performing chipset. And it's tough to tell which one is going to be the better one in every single way. But because the Tab S11 is giving you more RAM, I want to say that that one could end up giving you a better type of experience for some people out there rather than something like an iPad Air 7. But at the same time, I think an iPad Air 7 is also one of those types of tablets that I really do like. And, I feel like that's a better type of tablet in some ways from a performance perspective. But I would also argue that something like an iPad Air is giving you maybe a smoother experience for some people because you don't necessarily have to, handle the, One UI software too much. But then it's like picking like apples and oranges. It's not really even that big of a difference. And they're both giving you like really good types of performance, chipsets when it comes down to it. So to kind of sum it up, what I definitely will tell you is that these types of tablets and these types of devices, I think they're still very much worth it. And I think they're very good options. Now, if you're trying to go through and get like the better option when it comes down to both of these, it's going to be, again, dependent on how you kind of want to take a look at it, which way you kind of want to go. I would imagine that these types of tablets are going to be giving you a good type of experience depending on the situation. Is there one that's like significantly better than the other one? I'm not 100% too sure. I would argue that these types of tablets are still going to be giving you like a good time and a good experience. But it really is also just dependent on how you kind of want to go, right? I would argue that the iPad Air 7 is probably the better one, the one that I would recommend more people to go and buy. But again, it's kind of dependent up to you and how you kind of want to take a look at it. But that's kind of how I see these types of tablets holding up for the most part. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there too. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.